truth is that the past year has been quite amazing because we were living and suffering a completely different situation. In Nielsen Sports, we have detected that we have analyzed the figures and what it happened in the sports business and also in the sports sponsorship industry. And the reality is that we have shown the resistance of the sector. Despite the stop on the competitions that we lived back in March last year, we have realized that as long as the competitions has been back on the pitch, as long as all the leagues has been restarted in June, July, that has shown that at the end, although the pandemic has a big impact in our lives, in the sports industry, it's not so big as we could imagine back in last year. It's true that obviously the sponsorship is heading a little bit back due to the pandemic, but it's also true that airlines, car brands, and also the retail has not suffered a bigger impact in terms of sponsorship, or we are not seeing this compared to other brands. Mainly because the big sponsorship deals are multi-year deals. It means that although that in March we have seen that everything stopped, if you have a 3 or 4 years deal with a club, you have some doubts during summer, but once the competition is back and more or less everything is working like normal, let's say, we are not stopping the deal. We are continue sponsoring the team. It means that obviously there is a decrease on the sponsorship nowadays. We have more or less calculated that's about 10-11% in Europe, the decrease, but we are not saying a bigger decrease in those sectors more affected by the economic crisis due to the COVID. At the other side, you were asking me about the new sectors. Obviously betting, which is a sector with a lot of money and trying to avoid some bannings in some markets and trying to find a way to invest. Trading companies, there are a lot of companies working with online trading that it's also investing hard in sponsorship. And we have detected in a small sector, not a small sector, but a small movement in one particular sector, which is the food delivery. We have seen Takeaway, which is more known in our market as Just Eat, which has become one of the main Champions League sponsors for the coming years. And we have realized that these companies, due to the lockdowns in every market, are generating a lot of money, and they are also looking to invest this in sponsorship, in football sponsorship and sports sponsorship. Here we have a mix. Obviously, the traditional theory says that TV or different ways of watching a match or a sports event is still one of the most important drivers. At the end, if we talk about football or basketball, we are talking about matches, and it doesn't matter if it's in free TV or paid TV or through an OTT like 11 Sports or the Zone or whatever. The match and the event itself is still a big driver for the brands. But obviously, the growth and the rise of the social media has put on the table new windows, new way of monetizing this sponsorship. The possibility to monetize and to attack directly your target in some specific platforms. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever you think it's better for your brand. Obviously, it's one of the ways to find exposure and to be in contact with your potential clients. This is definitely a trend and it's something that's going to stay for the coming years. CSR, it's probably one of the main objectives in many brands in sports. Also, there is another trend that I would not say it's a trend, it's already a reality, that this is the push on the women's sports. We have seen that in football, but also in many other sports. Women are taking a leading role. They are also having exposure on the media, and there are also brands looking for this. The possibility to attack some new targets that were not normally in some sports due to the fact of the women also having a leading role opens a new window for some brands to sponsor some other sports. But definitely CSR is going to be one of the key possibilities in the coming years. This is a working process. It's like Nielsen Sport. This has made our lives much more complicated. Some years ago, we had a competition, a basketball competition, and you had just the match. You need to control the match, the audiences on the match, the exposure of the brands on the match, and that's it. on a TV channel. Now you could have the TV channel, or you could have an OTT, you could have some highlights on Facebook or some content on TikTok. You have several windows to show the content. And this is bad in terms of bad, meaning that we need to work much more. But obviously it's really good for the brands because every single window means sometimes a really different target or audience. And this is the perfect way to attack or to find your customers. You can easily define a specific content for each platform in order to be able to be more attractive or more appealing to your targets. We know that maybe older people has no problems to watch a 90 minutes match, and this is the audience you're going to have on TV. But at the same time, if you are looking for a younger audience, you know that putting a 2 minutes video with some nice highlights on Instagram, that's the way you should communicate with this younger audience. In the last year, the brands have been really aware of what they want and what they need. That has changed dramatically the way they interact with the clubs, with the right holders, and in general with all the competitions. The brands are expecting to have sponsorship deals not based only on exposure on TV or not only based on some media, but also exactly what they're looking for. It means that if you are a brand selling some stuff that is more useful for young people, you are not interested anymore probably on having LED boards on the stadium, because maybe you know that your audience, your target, it's more on the social media of the club. Then when you sign a deal with a club, you're gonna ask for a tailor-made package. It's not anymore having 10 packages of a club of the same size with the same price and selling them to 10 different brands. Everyone is going to request exactly what they want to communicate better with his audience. And having what we were talking just a couple of minutes ago, that every window or platform has a different audience, the brand normally already knows which is its preferred platform, and this is what they are going to request to the club. Here we should separate right holders, clubs from the brands, because I think they are in a different position. The clubs, they are a little bit step behind. The clubs are more willing, or they tend to connect esports with his traditional sports. It means that if you are a football club, you tend to think that esports is going to be to play FIFA. And the clubs in the hockey league in the States, they used to play NHL. Or the NBA clubs, they are playing NBA 2K. Because they think, okay, I'm a basketball team, esports means to play basketball. We have seen some clubs that are doing a little bit different. For example, Schalke 04, FC Barcelona, PSG. These clubs are already having teams playing non-sports, esports. I mean, not purely football, not pure basketball. They can play some other video games. At the other side, we have the brands. The brands, they really know a little bit more how it's working, and we have seen that especially brands like Burger King or different brands from Nestlé, Chupa Chups, they have realized that maybe with the traditional advertising, they are not reaching the audiences. They have seen that maybe investing some money and doing some activation on esports, they can easily attack, or they can easily connect more directly to their potential clients. And that's what they are doing. And it's true that esports are already a reality.